Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
All right, happy Monday, everyone. Of course, over the weekend, we saw plenty of scenes like this. Thanks to Jamie for sharing with us. This is a view from Ogden of the clouds, the off and on rain that was coming down. Of course, some of that rainfall was heavy at times. And of course, for some folks, we saw some thunder, some gusty winds out there. So, yeah, it was not necessarily the best outside weekend, but if you had plans to stay inside, it was pretty nice out there for you. Speaking of the rainfall, this was actually some really good news. You know, we ended the month of April very dry. We barely saw half an inch of precipitation here in Salt Lake City. Well, for the month of May, we know May is one of the wettest months of the year for Salt Lake City on average. And look at this, we picked up over 1.25 inches of rainfall so far this month. So that's great news. In fact, that's a little bit above average for this time of the year. Now, here's this problem with that is, I don't see a lot of rain chances in the future. So what you see is pretty much what you're going to end the month with. But the good news is we should end up close to average here across most of the area, thanks to a pretty wet May across the region, at least the first half of May. All right, outside right now, it's not wet out there in Cedar City. We've got a mixture of blue skies, some fair weather clouds trying to get going, but overall, just a gorgeous afternoon shaping up there. If you got some outside plans, it's going to be pretty nice. Even better outside the ABC4 studios here, a little bit of a breeze. Look at the blue skies showing up out there with those fair weather clouds. But do note the temperature, 51 degrees. That is well below average for this time of the year. Meaning, it's still pretty chilly out there. It's 51 degrees currently in Ogden, 45 in Logan. We've got 46 in Heber, 52 degrees in Provo, 52 Delta, Milford, 53 in Cedar City. So pretty much up and down the state, we're at or below average in most locations, except for as you get down towards St. George, where it's 70 degrees. It's still below average, but that's a lot better than what the rest of us are dealing with, right? All right, let's take a look at the weather map. You can see the last of that northwesterly flow of moisture now beginning to push into Colorado now. So the I-70 corridor, as you head over towards the Denver area, that's where you're going to see most of the precipitation this afternoon. Notice the clouds breaking apart across western Utah, and I think we'll see more of that as we go throughout the afternoon. So any real big chance of any rain shower activity, I think, has really come to an end now. We did have some showers this morning in the valleys, and of course in the mountains we actually had some snow showers coming down. But here's that big upper low now beginning to make its way off towards the north and east. We still have that northwesterly flow today, so that means we'll stay with the chilly temperatures, but eventually we should start to see some improvement. As far as any precipitation chances go, again, as I mentioned this afternoon, we'll keep a chance of an isolated shower or two just because of the northwesterly flow, but I think that is quickly fleeting as it pushes off towards the east. So I think we're pretty much done with any measurable precipitation for sure. And then as we look at tomorrow morning, we start off with lots of sunshine, except for to the north, we'll have a weak disturbance brushing by the northern half of the state. So that could give us a spotty shower or downpour, primarily up in the Cache Valley as you get closer towards Logan and Brigham City into southwest Wyoming. That moves out, and it's all about high pressure for the rest of the week, folks. High pressure and warming conditions. 50s across the Wasatch Front, low 60s across the rest of the state, near 80 in St. George. Tonight, another chilly night with 30s and 40s pretty widespread across the area. And we do have a freeze warning now that's in effect for the West Desert and portions of the western Uintas through 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, so keep that in mind. But after that, we get rid of the below average temperatures. Here comes the big warm up as we head towards the end of the work week. We'll get a weak little system trying to move by this weekend, but overall, we've got summer-like conditions just in time for the unofficial start to summer. The below-average temperatures get kicked to our east, and we've got a bullseye of above-average temperatures here across the Beehive State. St. George near 80 today. How about the upper 90s by the end of the week? Oh, yeah, it's on the way, folks. The Wasatch Front, a few isolated showers, well below average today. Then we're in the 70s and 80s by the end of the week. So summer's coming, guys.